Vice President, Oil and Gas at Dangote Industries Limited, Devakumar Edwin, has accused international oil companies in Nigeria of doing everything to frustrate the survival of Dangote Oil Refinery and Petrochemicals. Edwin said the international oil companies are deliberately and willfully frustrating the refinery's efforts to buy local crude by jerking up high premium price above the market price, thereby forcing it to import crude from countries as far as the United States, with its attendant high costs. Speaking to a group of energy editors at a one-day training program organized by the Dangote Group, Edwin also lamented the activity of the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority in granting licenses indiscriminately to marketers to import dirty refined products into the country. He said, "The federal government issued 25 licenses to build refinery, and we are the only one that delivered on promise. In effect, we deserve every support from the government." It is good to note that from the start of production, more than 3.5 billion litres, which represents 90% of our production, have been exported. We are calling on the federal government and regulators to give us the necessary support in order to create jobs and prosperity for the nation. According to him, while the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, NUPRC, are trying their best to allocate the crude for us, the IOCs are deliberately and willfully frustrating our efforts to buy the local crude. It would be recalled that the NUPRC recently met with crude oil producers as well as refineries owners in Nigeria in a bid to ensure full adherence to domestic crude oil supply obligations, DCSO, as enunciated under Section 109, subsection 2 of the Petroleum Industry Act, PIA. It seems that the IOC's objective is to ensure that our petroleum refinery fails. It is either they are deliberately asking for ridiculous, humongous premium, or they simply state that crude is not available.
I thought building a refinery like this is supposed to be a pride for everybody, because we are not the only country. Angola, they've been trying for 20 years. They are still trying. Uganda, they've been trying for the last 15 years. None of them. There is no production capacity in Africa. Only two countries are not importing, which is, Algeria and Libya. Apart from this, everybody is an importer. We cannot continue to be slaves while we export, raw material, then we import products. But you can see a regulator is giving an excuse to continue to issue license for bad products just because he said that no, they don't want to create a monopoly. So how can we create a monopoly?
At some point, we paid $6 over and above the market price. This has forced us to reduce our output, as well as import crude from countries as far as the US, increasing our cost of production. It appears that the objective of the IOCs is to ensure that Nigeria remains a country which exports crude oil and imports refined petroleum products. They are keen on exporting the raw materials to their home countries, creating employment and wealth for their countries, adding to their GDP, and dumping the expensive refined products into Nigeria, thus making us dependent on imported products. It is the same strategy the multinationals have been adopting in every commodity, making Nigeria and sub-Saharan Africa to be facing unemployment and poverty, while they create wealth for themselves at our expense. This is exploitation, pure and simple. Unfortunately, the country is also playing into their hands by continuing to issue import licenses at the expense of our economy and at the cost of the health of the Nigerians who are exposed to carcinogenic products.